here's some advice that you're definitely going to need. This is how you come back from behind and win a match. So a couple things. We just had a wrestler who he fell apart. It was tied 2-2. Ref made, I didn't even see it actually, and my nephew told me about it, and he goes, he's like fleeing the mat call or something, and he's like throws his hands up. He's a freshman. He starts freaking out, and then he shoots, and then he's like melts, and then the kid scores on him, and then he's angry. And so I find him like 20 minutes later, and he's so worked up. He's chewing on his mouthpiece, and I'm like, hey, dude, you cannot fall apart. So we call it drink the poison, right? Let's say this nice little Yeti coffee cup here. Let's say there's poison in here. If you drink this poison, you now have to cope with the poison. Now what do I do? Well, you got to do this. Whatever. What if I didn't drink it to begin with? What if I didn't fall apart to begin with? Sports psychology side of wrestling, which, by the way, we're going to have we're adding to our online wrestling academy. There's going to be a full course there on sports psychology for the sport of wrestling. I know you guys have been asking for a long time, so I'm doing it. There'll be parenting advice, a coaching online academy, a beginner's academy. So how to get a college recruiting scholarship. There's going to be a weight loss academy, nutritional strength and conditioning academy. So we're gonna just really attack that. But so something we talk about all the time is people say, well, here's your confidence building exercises. Here are your relaxation sort of exercises. Well, if you watch the best college guys, they don't get worked up to begin with. You need all of that stuff. If you're freaked out and you're scared and you're nervous, you have anxiety, and you're in a state of panic, sheer terror and panic, and you're obsessed with thoughts of losing, you have wrecked yourself. There's a book, I forget the name, but it talks about this, that the best athletes protect their blood chemistry. The stress and anxiety hormones that your brain releases poisons you, right? So you have to nip it in the bud to begin with. Don't allow the poison to release itself. Don't drink it. Don't get freaked out to begin with, right? Sure, you're going to be a little bit nervous, a little self-doubt. These are all normal things. But on a match, you have to practice and prepare for, hey, the refs do make bad calls sometimes, right? And sometimes this might be a good call that you just don't agree with. Maybe someone just does something really good and they take you down. Maybe you're cramping and you have to deal with that during the match, right? Maybe there's constant blood time and your opponent was pretty much wilting in your hands, and now your opponent's getting a chance to recover, and you're like, dude, this match is taking forever. I'm losing my momentum, right? Maybe the ref keeps calling stalemates. You get your legs and you're right. Every time you break the guy down, the ref calls a stalemate. These things can incite a little bit of frustration and panic. You emotionally crash. So now what do? Well, you have to recover first. But if you didn't emotionally crash to begin with, you wouldn't be in this situation. So I told him, I was like, I'm like, look you're still so worked up. You're chewing on your mouthpiece. And, he's like rocking his head. I'm like, golly. His brother's pretty calm, right? Made the state finals last year. Just signed a Division I scholarship, actually, right? But his brother, I won't mention his name. His brother's a freshman. He's like completely just worked up. He's basically done, right? And by the time you recover, the match is over. We don't have an hour and a half like you do in soccer. You don't have 8 hours like you do in baseball. Holy cow, that sport. You literally have all day. Literally, you have all day, okay? You don't have all day in wrestling. So the number one thing you can do is understand these. So going into the match, you can't be all stressed out to begin with. And during the match, you have to prepare ahead of time and say, learn to talk yourself off of the ledge. Learn to calm yourself. Say, okay, now it's 3-2. I got tons of time. I don't like that call. Nothing I can do about it now. What do I need to do now? What do I need to do next? Okay, I'm going to need to get a takedown. Okay, in my mind, I might be thinking, okay, you know, I got my first takedown from an underhook, that's where I'm going. So I'm refocused. I refocus. My brain, my thoughts are scattered. No, what do I need to do? Okay, what's my game plan to accomplish this? Okay, it's a task. I only focus on the next task. And I told him, I go, see that, there's a big set of concrete steps going up to the next level. I was like, see those concrete steps? He goes, yeah. I go, what if there was a mile high? It's a mile. All you're doing is you're looking at every landing, and then you're looking at every step. If you're trying to make it a mile, it's too overwhelming. So you want to break it down. Okay, there's the landing. Okay, I have, you know, 88 steps. Here I go. Worry about the first one. Oh, there's a second one. Oh, there's a third one. So when you learn to have a task brain, and you kind of, it really is a great way to keep you wrestling. If you watch your wrestling and you stop, I told Caden, you get a front headlock, you got to try to score. And if you can't, you there might be a settling down period. Opponent has your elbow or high tricep, and you're like, okay, what can I do from here? Okay, I'm clearing, I'm fighting, I'm always trying to score. And the college coaches call it wrestle through your positions. All it means is try to score from wherever you're at. Or maybe you're in a terrible position. I'm trying to stalemate that, right? Or if I'm in a terrible position, there's no way I can stalemate it, I'm completely defense. You have a single leg, my right foot is out of bounds, you're on the edge, you're trying to drag, I'm kind of doing the splits, I'm attacking wrists, I might thumb block the throat, and I'm just trying to bend you off. That's my task. I'm wrestling through that position from there. But I'm not necessarily trying to score, I'm just trying to win the position. So, you cannot wrestle that way and flow and score a lot of points unless you learn to be task-minded. Okay, so you focus on what you have to do next. I've got to walk this. I've got to make it to that landing. I got to hit these stairs. Right? You break things down. So, but a big key to coming back from behind and winning a match is making sure that you're emotionally and mentally in a state of being that you can actually do that. And you want to make sure that you don't fall apart to begin with, just like you don't want to fall apart begin with before a match, as far as, you know, your confidence and nerves, and let that get to you. So controlling your emotions, have a task brain, set your goal. Every time you go out of bounds, you should take a deep breath, look at the score on the clock. What do I need to do? Okay, I'm down, I have 24 seconds left. My goal is to get an escape. I'm down, I have 1 minute and 24 seconds left. I need an escape and a takedown. I'm winning 5-1, 8-1. That's my goal. In my mind, I'm thinking 8-1. I see it in my brain. 8-1. Okay, here I go. 1 minute 24 seconds. I'm down, and I have focused my mind on the next task, and then pretty soon, you know, you're climbing a lot of stairs, and you're making it to the top. And wrestling gets to be a little bit more easier, and a sport that you can kind of digest, and your level of accomplishment is going to soar. Okay, so some of us are good wrestlers, but we just don't know how to wrestle. Or we're good in practice, but you're not good in matches. It's because matches have the referee, there's anxiety, right? There's nervousness. So you're a good wrestler, but you're a terrible competitor. Not because you don't want to compete, not because you're a wuss, it's because you just don't know how to compete, because no one's ever taught you these things. Good luck.